The season has not gone the way the Minnesota Timberwolves have hoped. Injuries and COVID-19 have derailed the season and have decimated their hopes of making a run at the playoffs. As of April 6th, the Wolves sit with the worst record in the league at 13-38. The first round pick that they gave to the Warriors in exchange for D'Angelo Russell is top 3 protected, so if the lottery goes their way, they will have a top 3 pick. Many believe this year's draft class is loaded at the top with the likes of Jalen Suggs, Evan Mobley, and especially Cade Cunningham, who is seen as a generational player. So the Wolves find themselves with a decision to make. Tank and try to secure better odds of getting a top 3 pick, or try and compete and try to build their current roster's chemistry and risk a shot at a top 3 pick. What should the Wolves do? Let's look at the different sides of the argument. First, let's analyze the odds.
Never tell me the odds.
The 3 worst teams in the NBA have a 14% chance of getting the number 1 pick and a 40.1% chance of getting a top 3 selection. If they improve to the 4th worst team, those odds fall to 36.6 and 5th fall to 31.6. Here are the standings as they stand right now. Obviously, if the Wolves shut down Cat and D'Lo and give up, they would have a better chance at keeping their pick. But is that the best thing to do? The Timberwolves just got D'Angelo Russell back, and he played well in his return. If they keep their foot on the pedal and give this a try with a healthy D'Lo and Cat, the Wolves could build some momentum towards next season. It would also give Coach Chris Finch more of an opportunity to implement his system and have it put into action with a willing roster. Also, do you dare shut down Anthony Edwards when he is on the cusp of a Rookie of the Year season? But then again, you have to put it in another perspective. The Wolves run the risk of Cat or D'Lo or another player getting hurt, specifically Cat, who has been hampered with a wrist injury all year and still tapes it up before every game. What if Cat re-aggravates the injury and it affects the season? I personally couldn't come to a conclusion on this, so I went to an expert, co-host of the Everything's Coming Up Timberwolves podcast, Chris Emerson, to see what he had to say.
I mean, the draft stock is probably about as most important as anything can be right now. I mean, if we can get that top 3 pick, it sets us up for the future in ways that we haven't been set up before because we've got so much talent right now going in the right direction. But, I mean, I think we've been tanking enough this year. I think we've tanked enough this entire year, intentionally or unintentionally, that I don't think we're going to need to. I think we need to see Karl Anthony Towns and D'Lo on the court together. And not only do we need to see it, I think they need to play together. So I think that's going to kind of be anti-tank right there. But as we stand right now, we've got a 5-game lead over the Magic, who sit at the 4 spot. So, well, a 4-game lead over the Magic, who's at the 4 spot. So if we finish, we've got 21 games left. If we finish 10-11, let's say, which I think is a very adventurous record, puts us right about at the winning percentage that, let's say, the Golden State Warriors have, or the Spurs, or even the Boston Celtics are playing 500 ball this season. So right about at that level for the last 21 games, we would finish with 23 wins. And if the Magic, their winning percentage right now is 34% on the year. If they keep winning at that percentage, they'll finish with 24 wins. So we'll still be bottom 3. And that's if we play almost 500 ball. I just don't see that happening. Getting not Rubio so much, but getting Edwards and D'Lo and Cat, just some rhythm going into the off season, I think would be huge. So I think we can just roll with what we got going and maybe do a little bit of both. I mean, I think we'll be able to play just our starters and still lose enough games to lock up a bottom 3 pick. And even if we don't get bottom 3, even if we slide out, I mean, the percentages don't drop that much. I think the bottom 3, you've got a 40% chance at a top 3. I think the 4th pick, you've got a 34% chance or something like that. So you lose 6%. I think all the way down to the sixth pick, you're still at like 27, 28%. So the way that it's set up, it's such a well, lotto that, you know, it's not a lock even if you're bottom three. So I say play it out. Who knows? If we get some rhythm, maybe we'll play better, but maybe that'll lead to something better next year.
I should mention that Chris can be heard weekly on the Everything's Coming Up Timberwolves podcast on this very YouTube channel. He had some great points. It's not like falling into the 4th or 5th spot drastically hurts the Wolves draft spot. In fact, since the 2015 draft, 7 teams have drafted in the top 3 when the odds were outside of the top 3. It's also important that Cat and D'Lo and Edwards get some run together, something that they haven't had the opportunity to do much of. I also wanted to get the opinion of the Wolves fan base, so I put up a poll on a Wolves fan page. The overwhelming majority agrees that we need to compete now, and I tend to agree with that sentiment. The best I see the Wolves finishing with the rest of their schedule is 500, and I don't see them moving too much in the standings, even while competing. The best thing for the Wolves to do is build some chemistry with their core and build for the future. So in conclusion, I think the Wolves should not tank and rather play out the season as competitive as possible. Well, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Everything's Coming Up Timberwolves, and tune in for our weekly podcast. Have a great day, and as always, go Wolves.